Welcome.
Hello everyone, and I want to welcome you all. I know that recently you all have been informed that I have developed type 2 diabetes. So I'm going to go ahead and share my experience with you all pertaining to type 2 diabetes. In the past, it just seemed like out of nowhere, all these problems just started arising with my body, things that weren't normal. One thing that happened was a lot of dehydration. I felt dehydrated all the time, extremely thirsty. And I was constantly running back and forth to the bathroom. And so, of course, that was weird. It wasn't anything that was normal, but I just ignored the signs and symptoms. But in the back of my mind, I had a little nervousness about it. And I'm sure you guys can relate to that. So eventually I decided to go to the doctor. And I will never forget that date. It was April 27th. At the waiting room, finally the doctor and the interpreter came out and they informed me that I had type 2 diabetes. I was completely confused. What? What do you mean? How could I have acquired type 2 diabetes? I had all kinds of thoughts in my mind. And I'm sure that you all can relate to how I was feeling. I know that you all probably went through the same thing when you were first told. So when I was inquiring with the doctor as far as like, what do I do now? He just had a whole stack of paperwork for me to read. And outside of that, he was instructing me to go to a website, which was www.diabetes.org. Yes. And so I'm trying to go over all the paperwork and read everything and trying to research as much information as I possibly can about type 2 diabetes. But it was just so much. I was just completely exhausted trying to understand all this information. It was so much for me to process. It was awful. And I knew that I needed help. So the first thing that I had to find out about managing was my blood sugar. It's very important that you have to manage your blood sugar. That is the most important thing. And we also have to be aware that if our blood sugar begins to fluctuate, it can become dangerous. It's better if your blood sugar stays on a just consistent, regular flow. Okay, and the way to check that is just prick your finger and give yourself a blood test, a little small blood test. Initially it was uncomfortable to have to do that, but after a while it became habit forming. And it was fine. It was fine. You'll get used to it. Everyone may have a different time of day that they feel more comfortable testing their blood sugar. Me personally, I prefer the morning. And some people, they would eat later and then, take their blood test after they would eat. Maybe they were fasting. Or sometimes people would test their blood sugar before they would eat. It's your choice. And then you also have the option of eating and then waiting hours. You can wait a few hours later and then test your blood sugar as well. That's really your prerogative. Just be certain that you do frequent tests. And once you take your test, pay attention to what the number says and write it down. It might be great to just have yourself a little journal so you can keep notes that are easy to read, keep track of your numbers that way. And make sure you keep a good log as well. The time down, the date down. Just write down different activities that you've done throughout the day, what time you've taken your insulin shots, things of that nature. And the reason for doing this, you'll find that you'll better be able to manage your type 2 diabetes this way. This way, one day you may look up and notice that your numbers are a little higher than normal, and you may notice that, okay, I ate later this particular day, or I didn't exercise. And so this is how you'll learn to continuously be able to manage your type 2 diabetes this way, and it'll be more effective for you. And be aware that diabetes means that your body isn't functioning properly. When we eat foods, the foods in our body turn into sugars. And those cells that we have in our body draw from those blood sugars to give the body energy. This helps the body function properly. Now, with type 2 diabetes, that's a little different. When we eat the food, the sugars can't properly the cells can't properly pull from the sugars in the body, to turn it into energy. And the reason why is because our body isn't as healthy. Relax. Don't look so stumped. I understand. I was there. But I've had type 2 diabetes for a while, and I've been able to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And if you all follow these steps, you'll be able to do the same. I know you can. Hey, oh God. Oh. I was like, oh my God, more.
I know. It's like, because at the end, the last